Hey guys, I'm Caleb Giddings for Taurus USA. And as you might be able to guess by this enormous contraption in front of me, today we're going to go through the fairly complicated process of mounting a long eye relief pistol scope on a Taurus Raging Hunter. This specifically is the Taurus Raging Hunter in 350 Legend, and we are going to put this fixed 2-power pistol scope on top of it. Now, the reason why this is such a complex process is because, unlike, say, when you're mounting a red dot, making sure that the scope is level is really important for when you go to zero this in the field later. Most modern red dots come with mounts built in, and it's as simple as clamping the dot onto the rail and tightening everything to spec, and then you're all done. With a pistol scope, as you're about to see, it is a little bit more complicated. Now, I've already gone through the process of getting my revolver installed in the mount and making sure that my revolver is level in the mount. That's important because if the gun's not level, when you go to try to install the scope on it, you could create an imbalance where you think the scope is level, but then when you're holding the revolver level, the scope is now crooked. We don't want any of that. We want everything to be nice and perfectly level. So we have a little bubble level on here. It's right where I want it to be. So the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bottom half of my rings on the gun. Now I'm going to start off by placing the rear ring and the front ring kind of where I think they're going to want to go with relation to the scope. I'm not tightening anything yet. I'm just figuring out which slots in the pick rail these are going to go on. Now that I have the bottom sections of the scope rings on the rail, again, not tightened or anything like that, I want to make sure that the scope itself actually fits in where I want it to fit. So we're going to go ahead and drop that into place, make sure that it's good, make sure that back here everything is clearanced. It looks like everything is lining up just the way we want it to be. Now, I know from previous installations that this is about the right distance for proper eye relief on this gun. If I were going to test that, what I would do is I would actually step around to the side of this, I would actually get a firing grip on it and make sure that I had the eye relief set correctly to where I want it. I don't need to do that now because, again, I have actually installed this before and I know where the right distance for that eye relief is. So now that that's in place, I'm going to hand tighten my rings onto this. I want to push forward on the ring so that it's at the front of that slot on the rail to make sure that when the gun recoils, it doesn't jam it backwards, which would cause my zero to shift. It doesn't matter if I disturb the scope while I'm doing this because we're going to align and level the scope here in a minute. Once the rings are finger tight, I'm now going to torque them to spec. To do that, I'm going to remove my scope temporarily just in case my hand slips. I don't want to bang it with one of my tools. I'm going to go ahead and grab my torque wrench, and I'm going to set my torque wrench for 25 inch-pounds. Using a flathead screwdriver bit, I'll go ahead and insert that into these. And you can see there is a lot more take up that I had to do on this. Clicked over, so we're at 25. And we'll do the same thing over here. All right, those are now torqued to spec. Because I've been messing with the gun a little bit, I just want to make sure I haven't knocked it off level. Looks like I can adjust it just a little bit to get it back. There we go. Gun's back on level. Now we're going to do the hard part, and that is putting the scope on and making sure that the scope is level. First thing I'm going to do is make sure that I'm putting the scope on right side up, because that is a mistake I've made in the past. I'm going to unscrew this top cap and look down and make sure that this is the knob for elevation adjustment. The elevation adjustment knob should be on top. It is, so we're good. I can go ahead and drop this into place here. And knowing that I have the eye relief set correctly, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and place my top parts of my scope rings in place. Then we're going to check to make sure that it's level. No, don't move. All right, now with the scope level, what we're gonna do is we're going to use Vibratite on our screws because we don't want these coming loose when we're actually shooting the gun. We're gonna leave the bubble level on top while I do this because the process of tightening these screws can also upset the level of the scope. I know that sounds like a huge pain, and I'll be honest, it is. That's why most of my guns have red dots on them. However, for the 350 Legend, I really wanted to put something on it that would allow me to take advantage of the extended ranges that I can reach out and touch something with this gun that are probably a little bit further than I would want to take a poke with, say, a 44 Magnum. I want to grab my Torx number 10 bit, and we'll initially start by just using a regular handle to tighten these up. Once we get to the point where we need to torque them to spec, we'll go back to the torque wrench for this. Ideally, I want to get just a corner of this package open so I can squeeze it out onto the screw instead of having to do something crazy like dipping the screw in the bag. There's a number of reasons why you wouldn't want to do that. One. When I start the process of tightening these screws, I'm going to start in the back and I'm going to make a crisscross pattern. So I will go back right, front left, front right. That, in theory, assures that I'm not going to over-tighten any one side of this mount. And again, we're not tightening very aggressively here at the start. We're just trying to make sure that we get everything threaded in nice and evenly, and we don't disturb the level of the scope. All right, I have everything basically flush. Now we're just going to continue this process. So, and the reason why this is so important is just there in tightening that down, I disturbed the level of the scope just a little bit. It's now just a hair off bubble, so I can unscrew one of these. And just like that, whoop, too much. Okay, we're back in business. All right, we are now ready to torque these to spec. The manufacturer of these rings recommends 15 inch-pounds. And we're going to go in the same order that we went, well, initially tightening. Tighter. Just a little bit tighter. And one more. Now we should be able to tighten the spec. One. All right, all of those are tightened to spec. Now that I'm not manipulating the gun anymore, you can see that the bubble is still right in the middle, nice and level. So this scope is officially mounted. Now, again, we want to make sure that everything is tightened and torqued to spec. We've done all of that. The scope is level. The last thing that I recommend doing to test this out is take the gun out of the fixture and actually take a sight picture with it. This will tell you that the scope is properly leveled because you are intuitively going to hold the gun level, and if it comes up and that scope looks all kinds of crooked and cattywampus, you might want to revisit your mounting procedures and start all over again. But this one is good to go. That is the fairly involved process of mounting and leveling a handgun scope on the Taurus Raging Hunter in 350 Legend. For more information about the Taurus Raging Hunter, go to taurususa.com, where you can find specs and info on all Raging Hunter models, as well as retail partners where you can make an online purchase.